Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Woo woo, yeah, yeah. Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Woo woo woo, yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. We had to take a week off, but we are here today. Wednesday is back. Let's talk about the series and the Sandman on Netflix. And there was a big controversy at FS1. I'm going to tell you what I feel about what I've been watching. And news and notes around my life, things that are going on, things in the world. You know how we do here on Riffin with Griffin. But either way, thank you for being here. And I love y'all. Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, baby. Riffin with Griffin. Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you sub. If you don't sub, you're not going to know when I'm going live. You got to check on me, too, because apparently my live videos aren't being shared to people that follow me, which doesn't make any sense to me, because I have tried it the other way. Like, I finished doing this, and then I just re-upload it, but it was the same thing, the still thing, so I don't know. Maybe I'm shadow banned. Maybe they're not pushing me because I might have a little small podcast, but who knows? Either way, the people that look for me, you want me, you got to go find me. I appreciate that. And you can always come to Twitch. Appreciate you being here on Twitch. Come Twitch me and my Patreon people. My little Patreon community, thank you for following. I like to put a lot of my stuff up there early, like little pictures of me and Wolf or some Instagram thing I'm about to put up. I'm putting it on Patreon first, so I appreciate you guys for watching that and supporting that. So that's great. So here we are back on Riffin with Griffin. Riffin with Griffin. What's been going on in my world? You know, the weight loss journey is going good, guys. You can kind of see it in my face. You know what I mean? If I shave, when I shave, I look a lot younger too. Maybe I got to start doing that more. But the intermittent fasting is going pretty good, and people that don't know what that is, it works. Okay, so wait, let me get this so I can. Yeah, so like I don't eat before 12 and I don't eat after 8. So it's just it's about discipline. What I'm realizing all of the weight loss journey is, it's all about discipline, because even if you want to take some like miracle drug that's going to help you lose weight, you have to have discipline to take that wherever you're supposed to take it. So a lot of times that stuff goes by the wayside. So I think the first thing you need to work on with weight loss is discipline. And one of the easiest things to be disciplined about when it comes to weight loss is when you eat. That's the easiest one, when you eat. Then you can work on what you eat. Then you can work on, exercising. But they feed each other, no pun intended. So make sure you look out for that. I've been doing that, and it's I'm looking, I like how I'm feeling, and the weight's coming off, So my next step now is like I have to get a regular exercise routine in to help it, but feeling good. So wherever you are out there, I want you to do the same thing. You know what I mean? So, anyways, let's see. So what else is going on? So last week I couldn't do the. I was in New York. I just been traveling, and so I was gonna do my thing in New York, but I just didn't have the right stuff. But I got it now, like I got my new Zoom device, which I could take with me, and I got a new camera so I could start putting up more stand-up clips. So this helps that too, because then I can get a good recording of my audio, and then I can also just be in my hotel or wherever I am and just get a great recording of the episode so I could put up so I can have better quality. So that's what we are gonna continue to do and keep moving forward. You know what I mean? This guy, Eric, thoughts on Israel. I love when people do that. Unbelievable. I've already had an episode about that, so you got to just keep watching. By the way, just because of that question, I just want to throw this out there. As of August 2025, there are over 30 right now active conflicts worldwide. 30. Your thoughts on the other 29? Any thoughts on those? Any? Just curious. Do you think that's the only thing that's going on in the world? And everybody should be talking about that all the time? Or is that the only one you only care about? What you talking about? Shit going on in Sudan. Of course, Russia, Ukraine still going on. Thoughts? Ethiopia's in a civil war. There's drug wars going on. India, Pakistan. You want to talk about that? Any thoughts? Yeah, I didn't think so. So anyway, so I've been traveling a lot, so that's going on. Wolf's doing great too. Man, this kid is growing. Oh my God, he's growing. He's just adorable. I got this cute little. Oh, you know what? Just because of that, we have to have a wolf moment, I guess, every week. I guess, right? We got to do a little wolf action. He's got this cute little video. All these little video things that they put together, they actually come out really great. Wait, where is it? Of course it's not right here. You know what I mean? The Apple ecosystem, they want to make you believe that it's like so connected. But, here it is. I got it. It is connected. I take it all back. All right, let's see if I could get this. Let me see if I can get this going here. Wait, what's going on here? Oh, it's downloading. That's what it is. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, so let's have our weekly. Let's have our weekly wolf out. Let's see. Wait, why is it doing that? I have no idea why this is doing this, man. You know what I mean? Makes no sense. It makes no sense why it does this. Oh, here we go. I fixed it. All right, I go full screen now. Screen share. Yeah, baby. Baby. Look at him. He's like a grown-ass man already. It's crazy. It's crazy how fast they grow. People, that's the big thing that people always say. They always go, oh, man, time flies. They grow so fast. And I'm like, damn, this kid is growing. So I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's go to, I haven't done this in a while. I'm just going to go to some quick comments before we get into the episode. Somebody said, from the Cindy Sweeney episode, someone was like, Little Wolfie. Yeah, I appreciate you guys seeing, you going on the journey with me as my kid grows. I love it. Somebody said, wasn't Green Lantern played by Nathan Fillion? I have no idea. I have to look it up. You probably looked it up. That's what we should do. We should just look stuff up. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Superman. So Superman they said they put out this thing, Superman, which is now the first movie in this new DCU, beat out Iron Man, which was the first movie in the MCU, right? But that was 17 years ago or wherever it was, right? How long ago did Iron Man come out? Like, if the fact that you barely beat that movie, I don't think that's with inflation and everything, I don't think that's a big win. But I do like the direction that I see James Gunn trying to take the DCU, so we'll see where it goes. I mean, the first movie, it had a lot of problems, but it was still entertaining, and we'll see where it goes from here with Wonder Woman and whatever other movies they're doing, the Superman saga, Supergirl, or whatever they're trying to do with this, whoever the new Batman's going to be, and like all the things that they're doing in the DCU, we'll see what happens. But they can't ever take away what happened in the MCU, and the MCU seems to be back to some people, Well, here's something that somebody said. Yeah, so real Damian Sanchez said all of those Riffin with Griffin episodes have been going to my live playlist instead of your video playlist. It makes it where it doesn't show up in my subscribe tab, which that's crazy. I don't know what to do about that. You know what I mean? I really don't know what to do about that. I have to figure it out, but it's not just putting it in the thing because it still doesn't work. So I don't know. Guys. Somebody said, didn't Sydney Sweeney sell her bathwater? I think this is like a big run-on joke. It's kind of awesome that she doesn't take herself that serious. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think, she does a lot of nudity in movies and, she's young, attractive, living her best life, It's like if you're going to be objectified and put in these situations, at least make millions of dollars, right? Have some fun doing it, right? And she seems to be having fun. So no hate, no shade on Sydney Sweeney over here. Let's see here. All right. So, okay, they said some Ruben, some stupid name. Just Ruben, something dumb. They had that flying explanation early in the movie, probably when you're in the bathroom. Movie was great, very Sylvester Stallone driven-like, but better, and Driven was a great too. Yeah, when it comes to Formula One. Yeah, I know somebody else said that actually in the chat. The flying. Yeah, I was in the bathroom when they did that. So that's why when it was happening in the movie, I was like, oh, I wish they would have explained this earlier. It would have been better, but they obviously did explain that earlier. So I'm gonna have to watch it again just so I can see that. But Formula One was a great movie, man. I highly recommend it. Okay, so somebody else, 85 Al Cantor said, Johnny saying flame on when he pulled the figure from the cereal box was while teasing Ben. I'm sorry to hear it didn't click for you. I personally loved it, especially the way it embraced the Norman Rockwell style warmth in its visuals, and the Dr. Doom teaser at the end got excited for Avengers Doomsday. I think you're excited for Avengers Doomsday because it's the MCU, and we're hoping to get Endgame, and then we know Robert Downey's coming back. I don't think it had anything to do with Fantastic Four, okay? I'm sorry. That movie was mid, all right? It is what it is. Look at me using the young people terms. Do I sound cool? Do I sound young when I say that, guys? Do I sound young? That movie was mid. Do you say it like that? Or I'm too condescending. How should I say it? Maybe I could sing it. That movie was mid. I don't know. I have no idea, but whatever. All right, somebody else said Garfunga. That's why Jock, this is what he calls it. This is an interesting title for this. Jock bully comedy with lazy audience bits is popular right now, too. Ha! Your country, so he's not from America, so I love when people say that. Your country, as if we're some big monolith, you know what I mean? Your country's hate for itself is ruining a lot of the comedy scene. I could not agree more. Like, that is such a, you know what? Takes a foreigner to get you in your place, right? Let me say that sentence again because I totally agree with this. Your country's hate for itself. Man. And that's coming on both sides, too. If the left is talking about the right and they hate them, that's still a part of the American system. We hate each other. It's crazy. There's still tons of real comedy out there, but this wave of Rogan wannabe insult comics is pretty relentless. Okay, first of all, I really wish people would stop acting like Joe Rogan is an insult comic or he's responsible for all of the comedy that's going on. No, he's not. Okay? Joe Rogan has a podcast where he has a multitude of people on there from all different walks of life. Politics, science, actors, entertainers. He has all walks of life. He sits with them almost daily and talks for 3 hours and lets them have a platform where he is a curious guy. Now, some of the people that have done this, they are comics. But that's not his fault that the comedy that some of the people do resonates with the 10 million Rogan followers. Okay, like, I don't know what to tell you, man. But I think people need to stop blaming him as if this is some master plan of Joe Rogan to make sure everybody's doing whatever. That's not the case, guys. It's not the case. All right. I've been to the mothership 3 times. Every single time I go, I've never seen Joe Rogan there. Okay. When he only goes when he's doing his show, his own Rogan and Friends show or something like that. But people act like he's sitting in some, balcony and telling people make sure they do mean insult. And he's not even there. Okay. That's a Texas thing more than a Joe Rogan thing. So chill out on Joe Rogan, goddammit. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough comments for today. Enough comments for today. You know what I haven't done in a long time? I haven't done my book club. For anybody that was interested in my book club. And the roast battle community, that was something they've always done that. Roasts have been around since the 50s. Comics have been snapping on each other for years. It just didn't just start. Roast battle is not something new. It just took the roast, they changed it, but that's not anything new, man. Anyways, I haven't done book club in a while. So I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I try to read books too, but it's hard. I live kind of far from, I live like 40 minutes from LA now. And I travel a lot. So a lot of times it's easy for me to just listen to audiobooks, and I love listening to audiobooks. But there is a particular book that I'm listening to right now, or an author. Her name is Brenda K. Davies. I have her Instagram in the, what do you call it? The description of the episode there, but her name's Brenda K. Davies. I love vampire books and demons and dragons and fantasy, but I've been recently into these sort of modern urban fantasy, I think is what they call it. It's urban fantasy, but real sexy. Sometimes it's too much. You know what I mean? I'm listening in the car and I'm like, ooh, this is sexy. Because she's very descriptive. You know what I mean? And it'll be like, you'll hear like, and then he placed his, in her wet folds and her tight sheath. Those are the kind of like words you have in the thing. You really get this visual. So like the sex in the book is like real graphic, but at the same time, it's good vampire zombie shit. You know what I mean? Like vampire werewolf type stuff. But this is a particular book. So the name of the series is called The Alliance Series. So if you're listening on Audible, you could get books 1, 2 through 3 in a bundle. If you listen to audiobooks, you can listen to that. And then if you like it, you can go on. And this is great. In this series, it's these vampires and they have mates. There's this strong mate bond, you know what I mean? So there's alliance and then there's hunters. And the hunters hate the vampires and the vampires hate the hunters, but it's been a misunderstanding. And I don't want to give it all away, but there's this mate bond. And then there's always a vampire who's mated with, either a human, a hunter, or, something like that. And then they kind of come together. And every book has like you're learning about new characters, but it's within this greater story. I've never seen it done like this, and I really enjoy it. So if you're into fantasy, if you're into graphic, sexually graphic and all that, this is a good one. So if you go to her Instagram, if you ever check out her book, Brenda K. Davies, tell her Erik Griffin sent you and check it out. So yeah, that's book club, baby. And like I say, the first thing is called the Alliance Series, book 1 through 3. And then later in, a couple weeks or more, I'll tell you about some other books I've been reading from different authors. And a lot of them are like, I don't know, because, it's like when you listen to one, they say, because you like this, you might like this. Then I start listening to these others and I'm like, oh my God, it's like all this really good. Now I can't even listen or read these fantasy books without having like graphic sex in them. But, I don't know, but there's a lot of good ones. There's ones about angels and devils, and I just love all that. So, especially vampire stuff. I love listening to vampire. I love reading and listening to vampire books. But anyway, shout out to Brenda K. Davies. All right, where are we at right now? Oh, that's right. Sounds like True Blood. Yeah, you know what? You're right. But, because True Blood was like an urban fantasy. That's what that would be called. True Blood would file under urban fantasy, so... But this was good, man. You got to check it out. Real interesting stuff if you're into that kind of thing. So, and if you got a book you think I'd be interested in this genre, you could be like, yo, Griff, check this out. And I might. You know what I mean? I might. But before we continue, let's get a word from our new sponsor, Mood. Mood, baby. Mood. It's an online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's changes from sleepless nights to stress-filled days, guys. Mood.com has created an entire line of functional gummies that target health concerns with 100% federally legal THC blends. They'll deliver them discreetly right to your doorstep, and you get 20% off. You hear what I said? 20% off your first order at mood.com with promo code Griffin. Mood.com, promo code Griffin. You got to check it out. I like, my brain just keeps going. I'm doing stuff all day, and then I drive to Hollywood. I'm listening to audiobooks. I get to the club. I'm like amped up on doing stand-up, and then I drive home, and then, my brain doesn't go, it keeps going. So what I like to do is you pop one of these gummies, and you feel great, and the next morning you feel amazing. It's not like there's some kind of hangover or thing like that, because I wouldn't want that. So I like the Sleepy Time gummies. They're great. What makes these different is how they've paired THC and other cannabinoids with herbs and adaptogens. You're not just going to find gummies like this in a dispensary or anywhere for that matter. And they have gummies for literally everything: immune support, menopausal relief, PMS symptoms, mental clarity, sexual arousal. And each one is crafted using federally legal cannabis grown on small family-owned American farms. No pesticides, no BS, and they can ship to most states in the U.S. Best of all, not only does Mood stand behind everything with the industry-leading 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, my listeners right now get 20% off their first order with code Griffin. So head to mood.com, browse their amazing selection of functional gummies, and find the perfect gummy for whatever you're dealing with. And remember to use promo code Griffin at checkout to save 20% on your first order. Thank you, Mood. Keeping you in the mood. All right, guys, let's go to first show on the list, Sandman. Have y'all ever seen the Sandman? It's on Netflix. It's, what's the Sandman about? How did they describe it on IMDb? Let's see. Upon escaping after decades of imprisonment by a mortal wizard, Dream, the personification of dreams, sets about to reclaim his lost equipment. Okay, so that was the first season, okay? And it stars this guy, Tom Sturridge. He's great, man. He plays the god of dreams, and he's got brothers and sisters. Like one of his sister is death. His other sister's, his brother is destruction, and his other brother is destiny. You know what I mean? The other one is not seduction, but something like that. It's great. I actually really like this. But what I like about it is the subtlety of the main guy's performance. This guy Tom Sturridge. Yeah. Like he's like this, like he looks like a singer in a goth band, He's always doing like, how you doing? He's always got these lips. Let me show you guys. You know what I mean? He like look at this guy. That's how he looks. He's like a cute boy band guy. He's like, hello. Oh, he looks like a British rock singer. You know what I mean? But he's great. Like this guy's great. He really carries the show with his performance. Like I believe him. I think that's really important when you're watching something. Like, do you believe that this guy is who they say they are? I think Denzel Washington has that quality. I mean, as he's getting older, I think he's losing it a little bit, just like Al Pacino or, Robert De Niro. Anybody that just gets older, I don't know what happens, But there's something about, like, early Denzel, like, if he, the movie starts and he's like, he's a cop. You go, you know what? I believe it. This guy looks like a cop. This guy looks like the Dream Lord. It's a great job. So season 2 has come out. Season 2 came out a couple months ago, and then Netflix is doing this bullshit thing now where they put out 4 episodes that you could binge. Then they make you wait 8 weeks for the next 4, which if you put the math together is equivalent to just releasing one every single week. Which they don't want to go to that because they're like, well, our fan base, our subscriber base likes to binge. Yeah, but they want to be able to binge the whole thing. And if they're not letting them binge the whole thing, then why are you doing this like, here's 4 episodes, then you forget about it, and then 8 weeks later they're like, oh, what about these other 4? Like, you can see the numbers. There's a considerable drop off in the Netflix numbers of shows that come, say, season 2. Like, what's that one? Not the Hunger Games, but the Korean one. Like, you saw, like, they had the numbers where it was like the first 5 episodes, whatever, of the new season, astronomical numbers, Squid Games. And then the second part, not even the same, because we forgot, we don't care anymore. I'm done. You let me watch a little bit of it. Okay, if it's not interesting enough, who cares? I'm not waiting like that, you know? So I think they're making a mistake. Tell me what you think in the comments. But so season 2 of Dream Lord of Sandman. I can't even describe what season 2 is about. It's really strange, you know. It's like I don't even like. This is a really strange show, man. You know, I mean that's all I can really say about it. It's like, you know, this like I love fantasy and fiction and stuff like that, but there's something about the way this is shot and filmed and the mellowness of it and the drama of it, you know, this sort of family drama and everything that's going on and it's great. I really enjoy it, even though I couldn't tell you what it's all about all the time, if that makes sense. But but I would say it is a good watch, you know. I think it's a good watch. So I don't know. I think you guys should. I think you guys should check it out. Sandman, Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Wait, what's going on here? Oh, this isn't it. Wait, what is this? Okay, here we go. Sorry, I was on the wrong thing here. So they got the episodes. Yeah, so I'm looking. Okay, here we go. Season 2. All right, season 2. I'm looking for a description of season 2, and they really don't have it. But, you know, it's like, you know, hell closes. You know, they close off hell, and then Lucifer. I mean, I wish I could explain this. If you're listening around here, you're probably like, Griffin, what are you saying? What are you doing? I have no idea. That's what I'm telling you. This show is so confusing, but like I say, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the second half of season 2 more than I enjoyed any of the other seasons of this show. Because the first season of Sandman, it's weird as hell because like this guy, he controls dreams and he can control people, right? And he like some of his power and his armor got stolen, and then like so you're kind of following people in a real life who have his power and they're using it in this weird way. Then that got strange, and then he shows up, he escapes from his prison, and now he's got to go back to Dreamland and like, you know, kind of rebuild it. And then he has these weird relationships. Like there's this guy in the world where every 100 years they meet at the same bar and like have a drink. And they're like really good friends, but it's every 100 years, you know. So like you know they do this time jump where it's like, you know, it's like a, you know, old timey 12th century bar, you know. Then it grew, and the next thing you know, it's like, you know, it's modern times, and every 100 years they see each other. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's all kinds of stuff like that going on in the show, but the people in the show are great. It's one of the most well acted shows on television or streaming or whatever you want to call it. So I do highly recommend that show. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a short episode, guys. But let me see what people are saying right now. Yeah, let's see. Anybody else watching that show? I don't know. You just got to watch that show. I don't know if anybody's watching Sandman or if you like it or not, but check it out. It's good. All right, so another show that's back is Wednesday. Wednesday season 2 is back. I reviewed Wednesday season 1 last time, and I thought it was really great. I just thought that the way Jenny Ortega was playing this character and really selling this weird world of the Addams family, super great, you know. But I will say, you know, this might be one of those like it should only be one season type things, you know. maybe they should have moved on to a different, I don't know, to a different character or something. Wednesday. Then the next season is Pugsley, or it's like you know what I mean. So I'm trying to, I don't know. It's because I will tell you this: the first episode of season 2, not good. like if you haven't watched it before, and maybe you started season 2, you might be like, ugh, what was the big deal? But I'm telling you, season 1 was fantastic. It really was. Now, season 2 is starting super slow, and you can see her getting back into the groove of this character and all the choices that she made before. But it for some reason, in the beginning of it, it doesn't have the same gusto. And then I kind of been following what's going on with a lot of the other characters in the show. Like, they lost a lot of actors. Like, this one guy was like canceled or something. Then there's another guy that something happened, and a couple of the actresses were like, I'm not coming back for this or whatever. So it's kind of like, that kind of messes with because they're making these choices with the new characters because of that information in the real world. But you're trying to get into it. You're trying to find the pace and groove. And episode 1 didn't find it, in my opinion. But that being said, the second half of episode 2 and then episode 3 and 4 found its groove. I'm totally in it. And then, of course, we have to wait for the next 4 episodes, like frickin' 8 weeks from now or wherever the hell that second part is coming. But it's pretty good. So this season, it's about she's got this psychic power that she's been abusing, and it kind of goes haywire, and she's trying to figure it out, and she's sort of she's fighting with her mom, but then her grandma's on her side, but her grandma's fighting with her mom, and then this weird school that they go to, all kinds of weird stuff is happening again, and it's you don't really know who the villain is, and then her old boyfriend, who's a big ass monster, he escaped from the loony bin, and it's her fault. It's just a lot of that kind of stuff. But once you get, I will say, stick with it. This is what I'm trying to say about season 2. Stick with it. All right? And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay? You will be pleasantly surprised. Wait, I'm looking up something right here. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's that. So check out Wednesday and check out Sandman. I think you should watch. If you haven't ever watched Wednesday, watch season 1. If you've never watched, If you've never watched Sandman, please watch season 1, but stick with it. And they also, not only do they have in Sandman, not only do they have the episodes, they also have a bonus episode that's kind of about somebody in the show, but it has nothing to do with, say, the show. You should check that out. You know who else does that? What's that great cartoon, Invincible, on Prime? I love Invincible. Did I review that? I don't think I did. I think I'll try that next week. But yeah, man, I love Invincible. But they do this too. They have these spin-off cartoons about Invincible. You know what? I realize I got a lot of shows that I started and I haven't finished, like Harley Quinn cartoon. I just kind of let that go by the wayside. Started watching a few episodes and forgot, but that's actually a great show too. I got to get back into all these, man. You know what the problem is? It's hard to find shit. It's like you're watching Netflix, you're watching Prime, you're watching Apple. Where is everything, man? Oh, Foundation is back. Oh, wait. Foundation on Apple TV, man. I'm going to review that next week because that sucker is good. It got real good. But that's another one. Kind of boring. First couple episodes. Find your way. You know what? I'm rambling now, but I got to. Just like Andor. So season 1 and season 2 got the same problem. First 3 or 4 episodes, you're like, what is this, man? It's boring, and you get all this exposition, and you're trying to find out what the hell's going on with these characters. But then once you get into it, and then the last 4 episodes, you're like, damn, this is good. Andor got like that. Somebody recommended in the chat, you got to stick with it, and I stuck with it. And yeah, Andor's great, man. But I feel like an idiot not realizing that this was a prequel to Rogue One, which kind of ruined it for me because I'm like, oh, he dies. You know what I mean? But yeah, somebody in the thing said Nick said Foundation is great. It is. So watch Foundation, watch Andor, watch Wednesday, watch Sandman. All great choices. All right, all great choices. Yeah. So now I want to talk a little bit about this FS1 drama. So I watch FS1 religiously, man. I love the sports debate shows. I used to watch ESPN all the time. I used to watch First Take all the time. And the first one I used to watch is Pardon the Interruption with Mike Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser. I love that show. I loved that show. But they're a little, like, they actually are speaking to a certain generation. They love talking about baseball, and nobody cares about baseball. Okay? If you like baseball, you like baseball, but that's not everybody. Okay? So they just talk about a lot of old-timey things. They have like an old guard attitude, which I like. But, so then I just started watching a lot of the debate shows. So I started watching, like I used to watch ESPN all the time, First Take. But I preferred when it was Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. I like Max Kellerman. I like the dynamic he had with Stephen A. Smith. But that blew up, drama behind the scenes. And then they fired Max Kellerman, and he probably had a no-compete clause in his contract. So if they had him let's say they had him a contract for 4 years, they fired him, but he was not allowed to work anywhere else. And so I think that's about to be up, so you might see him on TV again. But I like that dynamic, but that didn't work out between the two of them. And Stephen A. Smith is going to win that battle because he's executive producer, right? So then I started watching FS1, and I really because I like Colin Cowherd. I love that guy. He's so opinionated, but the way he expresses his opinion, you can listen to it and then go, this guy, you're going to love it or hate it. But I love his show. It's a radio show, but they're now broadcasting it on FS1. It's great. Love that show. But then I started watching Speak. Speak for Yourself with Jason Whitlock and my guy Marcellus Wiley. I just enjoyed their dynamic. Jason's a little political. Now he's like super political out there. He's just out there now, just all right-wing politics. You know what I mean? Love Jason, still a buddy of mine. And I love Marcellus Wiley too. Marcellus used to play for San Diego and Buffalo. He's got a great podcast you guys should check out too. He's got the hydration situation and another one, but he's great. So check out Marcellus Wiley, but he used to be on TV with Jason Whitlock. So then I knew these guys. I even was on the show one time. Jason had me come on the show, and I was sitting off to the side and interacting with them. It was great. Then one day, Jason's just gone, and I'm like, I said, hey man, what happened? He's like, I'm gonna be fine, dude. He quit. They didn't give him the contract he wanted. So then it was just Marcellus Wiley. Then they brought this guy, Emmanuel Acho, on, an ex-football player. Him and his brother played NFL football. So then Emmanuel Acho comes on, this young, brash, charismatic dude who like clashed with Marcel. It was like the big brother and the little brother. I loved when it was Speak for Yourself, and it was them. And then one day Marcellus is gone. And I'm like, Marcellus, where the hell you at? And then this lady, Joy Taylor, who was with Colin, Joy Taylor, her brother, Jason Taylor, I believe it was his name, played football for Miami. And so then she's on the show. And, and then I actually like the dynamic of Joy and Marcellus. They would like go at each other. And, one of these female sports pundits, Then one day Marcellus is gone. And I'm hitting him up like, where you at? He's like, yeah, I quit the show, man. I'm like, what? But then I still liked watching it. So then the show became Emmanuel Acho, Shady McCoy from Philadelphia. I love Shady. Shady's my favorite. And then this guy, James Jones, a former receiver from Green Bay Packers. Loved him too. I actually love these guys. I love how they interacted. But they're all football guys. So they were doing a football show, and it was fine. And then what would happen, though, is the basketball season would come, and then they would do these trash takes about basketball. And it's just kind of like, what's better? A pro athlete talking about another sport that they don't play, or like a sports writer type commenting on all sports? It's hard to determine which one you like better. But I did like watching them when it was football season talk about football because they played it, One of them was a Hall of Famer, you know what I mean? Shady McCoy is going to the Hall of Fame, And then you had a guy who was, led the league in touchdowns one year, and then you had this Emmanuel Acho who was like a cerebral guy. So I thought it was a good mix. Then they redid the show again, got rid of Joy Taylor. She went to speak with Paul Pierce and what's his name? Not Michael Irving. Yeah, was it Michael Irving? No, Paul Pierce and somebody like that. I think it was Michael Irving. You know, it was Keyshawn Johnson, but Michael Irving would be on the show after he got fired from ESPN. So then she was on Speak. Emmanuel Acho's on a new show called Facility, which they brought Chase Daniels, just a career backup quarterback, well-spoken guy, terrible takes, you know what I mean? But that was the show. So then something happened where there was some sex scandal and all this stuff came out where they were saying Joey and Emmanuel Acho were doing stuff behind the scenes, got everybody fired, and there was some makeup girl that got harassed by the president of FS1 or whoever that got, Charlie something. And then and then they're saying Joey and him had a relationship. And it was just a whole big scandal behind the scenes in a lawsuit that got settled. And then all of a sudden now they cancel all the shows that this guy had touched except for one, which now is my favorite show, which is First Things First. I love First Things First with let me see. Yeah, I love First Things First with Nick Wright. Nick Wright's my favorite. I love Nick Wright. You know, he's just a firecracker, opinionated guy, very cerebral. But it's him, Chris Broussard, and Kevin Wildes. So now their show, they moved it to 3 hours because they canceled 3 shows. So like Colin Cowherd is 3 hours. First Thing First is 3 hours. So 6-hour blocks of shows, just these 2 shows. So I don't know, man. You know, you look up all this stuff that people are saying about, Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Acho, and I don't know what he's going to like. And, Emmanuel Acho was, one thing I liked about him was, like, he knew how to fire people up, He would get his people fired up on the show. But he was very much like, he's arrogant, and he was always talking, like he would get into verbal spouts on Twitter with Kevin Durant and all this stuff, but then now he's just gone. I think they fired him completely from Fox because he was doing college football on Saturdays. So I don't even know what he's doing now, where he's going to end up. But it's just crazy how that works. There's a little scandal behind the scenes, and then everybody disappears. So I don't know. But I do throw my support to First Things First. I think it's a great mix. And this is what I was saying. These guys aren't athletes, per se, like some of the other shows, It's like having 3 Stephen A. Smiths. Well, not really. I shouldn't even say that. They got a good mix. Nick is sort of the, 30s, 40s guy. Kevin Wildes is like he's the host. He's got that producer mind, and he like drives the show, pushes these 2 to talk about stuff, and they have other guests that come on the show. And Chris Broussard's the old school veteran guy who's like, I remember in the 80s it was like this, and I think it's a great mix. But it's just like, man, I just hate when a scandal just blows shit up. You know what I mean? And that's what it did. So hopefully that works out. Hopefully they get some new, because I like some of the other people on the network. Like I liked Paul Pierce and Keyshawn Johnson. I like, you want to hear that. That's a great mix too. You got a football player, a basketball player. So you could just, go through the seasons because those are the big sports. But anyways, listen guys, next week, another big episode. I'm going to try to, I got a bunch of guests coming. The room is almost going to be, the room's going to be ready in like a month or so. So look out for that. And, then I'll be doing this on Patreon, and then I'll be doing my Riffin with Griffin in the other room there. But, I appreciate you guys for supporting the show. Make sure you remember to look on the live list so you can see, I don't know what else to do. But we'll figure it out. But that being said, like I say, make sure you sub either way so you know what's going on. I'm putting up a bunch of stand-up clips and stuff too all the time, and clips from the show for the shorts. So make sure you check that out. Hit me up on Twitch, which I will be on. I have to do an audition right now. I have to do a self-tape audition. So once I finish with that, I'm gonna be on Twitch. And you Patreon people, I love you so much. I appreciate you, and I'll keep putting out the content for you early. Appreciate you guys. And like I say, a full-on Patreon Riffin with Griffin is going to be coming weekly. You know, because I'm gonna be doing this for Patreon, and then I'll have my guests and my whatever movie reviews and all the other stuff I do over there in my other office in the Riffin with Griffin studios. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you for listening, and you listeners, you audio guys, I love you, and thanks for always being here. YouTubers, that's it for us. We did it once again, and I will see you next week. All right? Booyah. See you next week.